We had played so well these last 4 games, particularly on the defensive end, where I felt like we were sharp, our mental was there, we were tough. I think the unfortunate thing that happened for us this week was Jeff Pollard going down with a concussion that kept him out because we missed our glue guy. Just felt like there were so many plays on the floor that he normally makes, be it a loose ball, a charge. It just seemed like there were a lot of discombobulated plays where the ball was bouncing around and just never felt like we were really together. Robo had a fantastic game. CJ played better in the second half. V was good in the game. We needed that one more, what I call veteran guy, particularly against a team like Utah, where they really shoot the ball so well. Every time we broke down, they made you pay. And it was one of those games that we needed everybody to step up a little bit, particularly those young guys, and I didn't get as much as I got out of them. I thought we started the game extremely well and in a great rhythm, and then as soon as I have to sub a little bit and get out of that rotations we've been in, I felt like the momentum of the game got away from us, and we really never gained it back. There's a couple of times in that second half where we had cut it to 10, 9, right around in there, and miss free throw here, miss free throw there, loose ball here, charge here, block here. Just didn't have them. And I felt like we've done a good job, particularly in our last 4 games, of making those plays. But this is one that we knew was going to be high scoring, but unfortunately we gave them those 10 to 12 that we needed to take back and have on our side of the board. Well, probably in his mind, he didn't play great against UW, so usually we don't play great. You come back the next night, and when you play again, and you play a lot tougher. I would have liked to play that team a little bit more zone and kept them a little bit deeper. And again, with getting away from our rotation, we were unable to do some of the things we normally do. So he had a great game, and once he's a guy who's a rhythm shooter, once he gets hot, you just cannot break down and make mistakes on shooters like Bearfield and Van Dyke. They shoot the ball too well. And we made some key mistakes in the game to get him in a great rhythm. The 3-point play, the 3 against Isaiah that he fouled on him, I think Robo gave him a 4-point play. We missed the rotation in the first half by Isaiah, didn't come up and switch onto him. There are like 4 or 5 things that we forgot to do or didn't do, and he made us pay on them. Normal things that in the last 4 games we've been pretty good at staying on point with some of those things. V is a terrific player that, we've had great play out of Marvin. We have great play out of Jazz, and people have really been sitting on him and Carter a little bit. But more importantly, I don't think we found him a little bit because those other guys have been playing so well. So it was a great game for him to get back on his game, to get back in rhythm and everything. I tried to give Coop a minute or two because Jeff being out, because we're really focusing not only on winning games, but what's coming here in a few weeks in that terms of that tournament. 4 games in 4 days, you're going to need bodies, and we're going to need people playing the right way. So for Robo, V, even Coop a little bit more so for Robo and V, as they close out their careers here, it's just important for them to play well and get those opportunities to do that. So I'm happy for him that he played really well in the game tonight. He was really solid for us. It was us. They were definitely opportunistic. They took advantage of us, but I felt like when we went to the bench, the momentum got away from us. We started the game defensively. We were really good. We were alert. Offensively, as you saw, the ball was moving. We were getting up and down the floor. We had them in transition. We're making an extra pass. We're making great cuts in the half court. And all of a sudden, we went to the bench, and everything got real stagnant on us. It was no adjustments by them. It was more about us running offense and doing those things we've worked on. So, unfortunately, there's some lessons to be learned by some of these guys and some of my players, and they're going to learn a tough lesson tonight because we broke down and they made us pay. It's not only the low block where he probably could have handled it by himself. You didn't have to rotate and trap so much. It's the fact that his presence, his communication, he talks so well. He captains your defense down there with his voice. He understands everything we're doing. His toughness, his ability to take charges, get on the floor. There's plays that he normally makes that we were not making. So I think every team in the country, I've said this before, every coach, they could probably identify a guy that's a glue guy. He's that guy that, he's probably not down in the media room a lot. He doesn't have those huge stats. But when we look at film, he makes a lot of things happen on the floor, and he keeps us together. That's Jeff for us. And even though the point totals aren't in the 20s or the 30s, his production for what he gives us is just so valuable to us on the floor at both ends. Screening, swinging the ball, blocking out, getting on the floor, taking charges. We missed some of that tonight. So, again, he can show his value as to what he is to this team. Even though he's not down here talking to you guys a lot, he means a lot to us in terms of keeping us in rhythm. When you only look at this and you got 16 assists. Again, I think my number I've always told you guys, 20-plus assists, we're probably right there to win the game. I certainly thought there were a few times where guys tried to do too much, and we looked like our Washington State about 6 weeks ago, and the ball didn't move, ball didn't rotate, stuff was hurried a little bit, and you end up knocking your own self out of rhythm. And we talked about it in timeouts, but the response that I needed to get was not there. And, again, some of that has to do without that other veteran player on the floor that kind of keeps things, again, in rhythm a little bit better. But we certainly forced some things in this game that didn't work in our favor.